Pastor Mendoza.
I don't see him here.
Change your name, did you?
Let's pray. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for this glorious day that you've given us. We are so grateful that we live in a country where we're able to meet freely and openly, and not only invoke your name, but to discuss the business of this city and of this nation in the open. I pray for the leadership of the city and for our nation, that they will be guided by wisdom and discernment in every decision they make. We thank you that you repay us with blessings much, much greater than that which we deserve. And let us always to remember that to do all things in our lives as if we were doing them for you. We ask these things in your name. Amen.
Amen. Moving on to item number 6, consent agenda. Any changes, corrections? None? Okay, could I have a motion to accept the consent agenda?
Part of the community for nearly 67 years. The Garden Club's stated purpose was to beautify our town by encouraging civic planning and the preservation of architecture of the past. And there should be no argument or doubt that it hasn't fulfilled that purpose over the years when you look around and see areas like Houston Square, September Square, Regional Park, the library landscaping, and most recently Steinbach House. You realize that the club had significant participation in all these areas. Sometimes the planning got contentious. One of the major cleanup projects was Houston Square, which at the time was pretty rough, being used for parking, football, baseball, and other miscellaneous activities. Those ladies were up against businesses and other factions to just leave it alone, even to the point of taking the argument home to their husbands. But in the end, after they completely draped trees and shrubs with black ribbons and crepe indicating the death of the area, everyone, even husbands, to keep the peace at home, came around. These women were of one mind and usually won. The part of their stated purpose, dealing with preservation of architecture of the past, has been a major concern since the beginning. And since the beginning, the club has been a significant part of any and all planning done in public spaces in Castroville. One of the first projects of the new club shortly after its organization was the hosting of public pilgrimages to the old homes in Castroville. They were held annually or biannually for a number of years. The tours then became significant and morphed into the Garden Club home tours. They knew all along the importance of preservation. These tours were the club's chief source of funds for projects around town. The club stepped aside several years ago for the Conservation Society to be able to host the Christmas candlelight tours that have become so popular. I'm in front of you tonight to let you know that due to lack of participation and funding sources, as of April 30th, the Garden Club will be closing its outside invisible doors. Those invisible doors are in all the public spaces in Castroville. I, for one, would have liked to have been able to sit in on that first meeting held in 1952 to meet the women and all those who followed over the years who contributed to spreading the word about what is unique about Castroville. And not to mention all the physical labor, cleaning, planting, and thanks, Ethel and Conrad, for continually picking up trash. Here's hoping that our Castro Garden Club sign can remain in September Square as a reminder of all that was accomplished. And last, we did have some money left. So as our last contributions, $4,000 will be given to future Houston Square projects and $3,700 for projects at Steinbach House. The Garden Club is gone but should not be forgotten. Thank you.
Aww. Thank you, Priscilla. Okay, going on to item number 8. Update on the Beery R Living History Museum, Phil King, Castro Colonies.
Thank you, Mayor Kelly and City Council. Last time I gave one of these was actually 3 years ago, because I was preparing for this one. But we're supposed to give an update to the city periodically, because this is a partnership between the city and the CCHA. The city owns the property. The CCHA has a license to build it and to operate it. Nope. Nope, there. So again, in the project history, the CCHA, as we all know, reached Stephen R. property back on Parish Street there, which included the Jacob Beery Historic Home and Barn Complex, and to work together toward the development and operation of appropriate museums. So that was in 2000.